For our notes today, we have two parts, adding and subtracting polynomials and then multiplying polynomials. This is stuff you have seen before, but hopefully this video will help with the details of the nitty-gritty in terms of combining like terms, multiplying, all that wonderful stuff. So just a quick note, polynomials, poly means many, nomial means terms. So if we have a polynomial, it just means many terms in general. Some of the basic rules is that each term has a positive exponent. So if your variable is x, it cannot be, for instance, like x to the negative second, is that we put in the denominator. So we're dealing with all zero or greater exponents. So if we look first adding and subtracting polynomials, if we look at the first one, what we're going to do is not only want to combine like terms, but we also want to write in descending order. And descending order means highest exponent first and then descend from there. So if I look throughout all of my terms here, my highest exponent is x to the third. So I'm going to look for other x to the thirds. I don't have any, and therefore I'm going to combine, or I'm just going to rewrite that by itself. And note that term is like a volume. You can't take a volume and add it to an area or a line or just a number 3. If we're multiplying, then we could. We could take a line and multiply it by an area, and then we get a volume, or a volume times a line, and that gives us a fourth dimensional object, something we don't have to get into. So the procedure in terms of simplifying this, I suggest looking for the highest exponent terms, finding them all. You can underline them. In this case, I only have one. And once I brought it down, I crossed it off. Now the rest of it looks a lot neater or nicer for me to find lower than x cubed. So I look for x squared, and I have an x squared term there. I have no other, so I'm just going to rewrite that as well, and that's in terms of addition. So plus 6x squared, and I cross that off. After x squared, I go down to x, and I look for my x terms. I have a negative x plus a negative 2x. So if I go negative x plus negative 2x, that gives us negative 3x. Cancels out. And then I have, or cross them out, and now I have a 3 plus a negative 7. The last two terms, the constants, 3 plus a negative 7 just gives us negative 4. And that would be the polynomial in terms of combining those two polynomials by addition. That's what we end up getting in standard form, which again starts at highest exponent and goes down from there. Here we have subtraction, which means this is a negative 1 out in front of this parentheses, which means we have to distribute the negative here. I am going to explicitly do this. I'm going to keep parentheses around this one. You really don't need to, but I am just going to, just for keep it nice and organized. Here I'm going to distribute the negative to each term. So now I have a plus, and then every term in here is the opposite. And once again, I could get rid of the parentheses for both of these after I combine, or I distribute in the negative, but I just decided not to. I decided to keep the parentheses. And now this is the exact same type problem that we had above. So I have an x cubed as my x exponent, so I'm looking for my x cubed terms. I'm going to actually underline them. There's that, and then there's that. So when I combine those, I end up getting negative 6x cubed, and negative 2x cubed gives us negative 8x cubed. Cross those off, make my life a little easier in terms of looking at it. Now I'm going to look for the 5x, or I'm sorry, we did x cubed, now we're going to look for x squared. I have an x squared term here. I have no other x squared terms, so I'm just going to bring that down, negative 4x squared, and then I'm going to cross that off. And now I look for 5x, x terms, so I have 5x and I have 3x. I go ahead and combine those, and that would give us 8x. Cross those off, and then I have constants left. Negative 1 plus negative 3 gives us negative 4, and that is just adding and subtracting polynomials. Now in terms of multiplying polynomials, this is when we get into a binomial. For instance, a binomial means two terms. 2 terms are separated by addition or subtraction. So we have a binomial here, multiplied by a binomial. And let's just go through why we do what we're used to, which is called distributive or FOILing. Okay, so let's imagine if I have 2, 4 plus 3, that would be 2 times 7, which would be 14. Now if I did it this way, where I distributed in, that would be 8 plus 6, which is 14, so that's why we distribute that in. If we can't come over here, if I have like 2 plus 3 and I have 4 plus 6, that would be 6 distributed into both of those terms. So if we don't separate them, that means I have to distribute this into both and that into both. So what if I do that? Let's see if we get the same answer. 2 plus 3 is 5, and then 5 times 4 is 10, which gives us 50. So let's go 2 times both of those, which would be 8, plus 2 times 6 is 12. And then I add it to 3 times 4, which is 12, plus 3 times 6, which is 18. And we get a 20 here, plus a 30, and that gives us 50. So that kind of gives a little reasoning, mathematical reasoning for why we do distribute. So there's two ways I'm going to do it. There's the Punnett square method, where we put the binomials on the outside. If you think about it in terms of Punnett squares, bringing it back to biology, it's like these are the parents, the male-female genes, and then this would be the offspring. So the outside is the binomials being multiplied in, and the inside is a simplified expanded result. And the other way we can do it is FOIL, or distributing. So if we distribute, we're doing 4x times the 3x plus 3. Then we are distributing in the -1 times the 2 of those. And typically we like to skip that step and just write it out like this, which would be the FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. So we do 4x times 3x, that'd be 12x squared. And then 4x times 3 would be 12x. And then we distribute in the -1, we get -3x, and then we get a -3. Combine like terms, the middle one, so we get 12x squared plus 9x minus 3, and that would be the simplified or expanded result. If we did it over here using the box method, or the Punnett square method, or area model is another way of saying it, I multiply the 4x times the 3x, and that gives us 12x squared. If I do the 4x times the 3, that gives us 12x. And then I do all these you could do in any order, which is kind of a nice part about doing the area model. -1 times 3x will give us -3x. And then lastly, we have -1 times 3, which is -3. If you look here on the diagonal, we have our like terms. So this is all in terms of addition. So we add those together. 12x minus 3x gives us 9x minus 3. And in both cases, we get the same result. Okay, moving on to a couple more challenging ones. My suggestion for 4 is definitely the box method. And note it's a binomial times a trinomial. I put the binomial up here and the trinomial here. You could have put the binomial in here and the trinomial going across the top. Doesn't matter in either case, because when we distribute like this, maybe a little more challenging, but we'll do it in both ways in any case, and you decide. You don't have to do both. You decide which method you want to use. So first we're doing the 2x times the 3x squared. So 2x times 3x squared would be 6, and then x times x squared would be x cubed. Like we said, a line, x being one dimension, times an area, x squared, that would give us a volume, so we should get an x cubed, and obviously we multiply the 2 and the 3. Next, we're going to do the 2x times the 4x, which would give us 8x squared. And then we do the 2x times the -10, which gives us -20x. Probably going to run out of room here. Can use my space very well. Next, we have the -5 times the 3x squared, which gives us -15x squared. The -5 times the 4x is -20x. And it looks like I'm barely going to be able to fit it in. There we go, plus 50. So now once I have all these, just like I did before, I'm going to look for my like terms. We only have one x cubed term, so that would be a 6x cubed. I'm going to cross that off. Then I have I'm going to underline these. We have the 8x squared and the -15x squared, so that would give us -7x squared. Cross them off. And then I have a -20x and a -20x, which is right here, -20x and -20x. That's going to give us -40x. And then I have left over the plus 50, and that's our final answer. What would this look like if we use the box or area model? So I have a 2x, and I put the -5 in here, and we keep in mind that means addition, subtraction in between terms. 3x squared, 4x, and -10. And then you just multiply to, and you can also think of it like a 1 by 10 basic multiplication table, like the 1s through 10s going across the tops and the 1s through the 10s going down the side, and then you have the multiplication in between. It's obviously a little more complicated with variables. So First ones I'll do these two. 3x squared times 2x will give us 6x cubed. Then I'm going to go 3x times negative 5, which will give us negative 15x squared. And then I'm going to do the 4x times a 2x, and that would be an 8x squared. Remember, it really doesn't matter what order you do it in, as long as you do all of them. 4x times a negative 5 would be negative 20x. And then I'm going to do the negative 10 times the 2x, which gives us negative 20x. And then I'm going to do the last terms, negative 10 times negative 5 gives us positive 50. And if we look again on the diagonals, we have our like terms. And we combine those like terms before, it's going to come over, give you the same thing as what we have over here. Lastly, we have with variables other than just in the first term, but in the second. They're different variables. If we go ahead and distribute, we have x times, in this case, I'm just going to do FOIL, first terms, without writing out that distributive that I did originally. So I have x times 2x, which gives us 2x squared, and then I have x times 7y, which would be plus 7xy, preferably the x term comes first. Then we have negative 3y times 2x, so I do the numbers first. I do negative 3 times 2 is 6, and then I have an xy, so I'm going to combine put the x term first and the y second, and then I have the negative 3y times the 7y. Negative 3 times 7 gives us 21, and then y times y gives us y squared. Now our like terms are in the middle here, and the other terms on the outside, the terms on the outside don't have any like terms, so we just rewrite those. So I have 2x squared, and I have 7 of them minus 6 of them gives us 1 of them, so I'm just going to write that as xy. You could write it as 1xy if you want, minus 21y squared, but as you know, typically we don't write the 1 in front of variables if that's our coefficient. So that's our final answer, 2x squared plus xy minus 21y squared. Let's see if we get the same thing over here. X times 2x would give us 2x squared. And then we do x times 7y would give us 7xy. Now we have negative 3y times 2x. We get negative 6xy. And then lastly, we have negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. And then y times y gives us y squared. Again, like terms are on the diagonal, just structure if we set it up properly. With terms aligning, like the x first and then the y second, or if we do it in descending order originally, we'll always get those diagonal terms being like terms. And note, again, 7xy minus 6xy will give us 1xy, so we end up getting the same result as over here.